I need to know I'm not alone and not a bad person. Trigger warning, child SA, intrusive thoughts, grooming, trauma dumpish warning. It is a very long post, I'm sorry about that, but I genuinely need some advice with that out of the way. I have a couple questions about different things of which are on the same sort of topic. The first paragraph is some background to help y'all understand. You can skip this paragraph if you want, just some background as to what may be the cause of what's happening in the final paragraph. Sorry this is a long one, it's been haunting me and causing so much emotional distress. I just need some advice or to know I'm not alone. Using a burner account for obvious reasons. F18 was SA growing up. Under 10, it was child on child. I was 4 and she was a 5th grader wanting to play doctor, and again when I was 9 and the girl younger than me replicated the things her stepdad did to her, that of which I didn't understand till much older, and another time when I was 9 by a girl who was 11 replicating what her 17-year-old GF was doing to her. I don't despise or blame them, I had no idea what they were doing. I mean, I would even pray that it would happen again. I would try to fake sleep around other girls to see if they would do anything like what happened before. Sometimes I would fantasize about it happening again back when I was in elementary school. I'm not sure why it's not like I knew what was happening. Maybe it's related to the abandonment issues from my mom or the issues at home, I have no clue. Wondering if anyone has had that similar experience as well or understands why that feeling happened. However, the next time I was 13, it happened by a much older man, over 55 and a private teacher, who groomed me and took advantage of the fact I had a broken home and no father. It was only then the trauma settled in and made me disgusted in my own body, especially after the cops asked what I was wearing, a Galaxy hoodie and bootcut jeans, and the fact since it was his first offense and there is no camera proof he was not charged. Update, he re-offended with another girl and is now being charged greater than justice 6 years later. I suffered from hypersexual behaviors. If anyone knows why this is, please explain. And unstable relationships, which led me to be more lenient to just let any guy do whatever to me. I would disassociate during anything, especially throughout high school, and just blow it off, especially when my abusive ex-boyfriend made me think that sexual activities was all I was good for and he deserved it. I would fantasize of being Sid or worse, and I even still do now. Which I know is completely wrong. Anyways, I digress, which leads me to much more disturbing intrusive thoughts. I would like to clarify I absolutely despise pedophilia, SA or worse on children or anyone else, and any sex crime. It makes me sick to my stomach reading stories of it and genuinely enrages me, and I wish harsher punishments on anyone who commits such heinous crimes. And yes, I know it sounds contradictory, as I would rather it happen to me than someone who can't handle it, which I don't think I can handle it either, and especially contradictory as the fantasies are still there, not as bad as it was growing up, but still there nonetheless. Main thing, this brings me to a recent event, which is going to sound absolutely disgusting. I was at a pool event with me, my boyfriend and his family about a month or 2 ago. He has a baby cousin F, 2 to 3, and I have a specific event that has been stuck with me. Her parents took off her swimming bottoms. I'm not sure why. I was a bit of a ways away to hear but close enough to see everything in clear view. I was shaking. It wasn't just for a couple seconds or a minute but for a solid 5 to 10 minutes. They let her just run around. And to see all these grown men, they are family but still, staring at her. I'm not sure if they were staring at her privates or it was for a split-second look because sometimes with triggers it feels like the men were looking for a long time, made me so unbelievably angry and sick. I saw my BFS dad look at her, and I shut down completely. The family was acting like it was completely normal or something, like some were just carrying on a conversation. I was shaking, and yet could not look away from the situation. This event and image plays in my mind constantly. Like I'm getting emotional writing this part. I can't shake that image out of my head. And to make it worse, I can't stop imaging my BFS dad sighing the child. It's extremely graphic. Not at all in a pedophilic way, and I hope it doesn't come off as such, but a genuine intrusive thought that I can't get rid of. It makes me extremely distraught. Both images replay over and over in my head. I haven't been able to sleep well for a while, and every time I see the cousin I have to distance myself and ignore her. To make things worse, I even started imaging my BF doing it as well. He would never hurt a kid and I know this. But despite this, I even started distancing myself from him. One day though, we were talking about having kids, which was brought up since we plan a future together for fun sometimes, and he says I hope I have a girl. Which I know didn't have any predatory meaning. But I was so angry and disgusted, I just couldn't anymore. I've been working on communication, so I attempted to explain that I am scared to have kids with him because I'm afraid he would SA them. I obviously didn't say it as bluntly, but I tried to say it as best as I could, but I don't blame him for taking it to heart. He tried to be understanding, but I could tell it broke him. We spoke about it a couple times and his reasonable upsetness of my way of thinking seemed to have died down. But I know it's still on his mind, I believe he thinks I don't think like that anymore. However, I can't stop seeing those images. It got to a point where I imagined his dad SA me. I don't think like that, I know I don't. I didn't fantasize about that, it just showed in my brain. It's so hard to explain. I've been so terrified to tell anyone because these thoughts are horrible, but I genuinely can't help it. I feel so much guilt and shame. I'm not that type of person. My BF is not that type of person. Maybe his dad isn't, but I've fully convinced myself that he is. Guys, I don't know what to do. Am I a bad person? Should I talk to someone about it? Is my past trauma a cause of it? How do I stop seeing those images? How do I fix myself? Am I the only person that has these thoughts or has experienced this? What do I do about my BF? I need some clarity, some explanation or reassurance. I really don't know how to TLDR this. I really feel guilty and needed this off my chest.